I'm about to leave for what I consider to be a once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm going to a private tropical island in the Philippines with some of my most favorite people in the world who I very, very rarely get to spend time with, like real personal time with. And I'm going to have just over 2 weeks with these people that I love. And Andy is going to be there too. And we're going to be surrounded by cool gear that all sorts of brands are flying in to this private island for us to hang out with and play and jam and of course make some content with here and there at our leisure. And I can't help but think that this is a terrible idea. I mean, this is a top shelf bad idea. And I know bad ideas. You know that about me. And this is a chef's kiss of a bad idea. And of course, who's behind this bad idea? Henning Polly. It's actually been Henning Polly and Perfecto de Castro working on this together. And they have been working incredibly hard on this. Like I planned an event. I did a guitar event early last year. I did Guitar House. And this trip right here is why I'm not doing Guitar House this time this year. So I know what goes into putting on events. And that was a little event compared to what Henning usually does. And this thing that Henning and Perfecto are doing is huge compared to that. So I can't imagine how much effort they've put into this, even though I've been chatting with them every day. We've all been chatting together about everything that has to go on to make this happen. It is just bonkers, which is one of the reasons why it's a bad idea. Henning and Perfecto have been working nonstop for months so that we can go somewhere and mostly relax, mostly not work, but then also work a little bit. It's a lot of effort. But anyways, I've got a list here of other reasons, like kind of just like thoughts that I came up with while sitting on the couch last night. Reasons why I think that this is kind of a bad idea. I'm going to go through that list and we're going to find out why g.a.s.taway Island is a terrible thing that shouldn't happen, but I'm really, really excited to go do it. And like I said, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And honestly, everyone should be making fun of this. This makes no damn sense. It's like, it makes sense as a setup for like a reality TV show where there's going to be film cameras like following us around to show how stupid and ridiculous influencers are. Influencer Island. Narcissist Island. We put 10 narcissists who film themselves for personal gain on a private island. Let's see if they can get along. First point on my list of bad ideas. No internet. My son, who's only 8, has been teasing me about this mercilessly. It's like, Dad, you're a YouTuber. Your whole job, everything you do is on the internet. Why are you going somewhere with no internet? There's supposed to be, they claim there's a little bit of internet, there's a little bit of data, but it sounds like it's very, very slim. And my experiences with kind of like isolated locations that have internet is that you're lucky if you can get a text through every now and then. If we're very lucky and there is enough internet, we might be able to sneak out some Instagram posts, but we're not going to be publishing anything from there. No, I think we'll be really lucky if we get an Instagram post out here or there. But follow all the channels. I'll have links to all the channels down in the description. Way too much time away from our families. Many of us going, myself included. We have families. Some of us with young kids. Andy and I have young kids. This is a lot. And it took a lot for me to convince myself that this is something that I should do, that I could do. And then it took more convincing of my family that this is something I could do and should do. And it's been an incredible amount of work on my personal side, and I'm sure on many of the other channel sides, preparing our families for us to not be there. Many of us work from home full time, and so we play these, parental roles throughout the day, helping get kids to and from the things that they need to be at, being the support to the other parent, because when you're a parent, you need to be able to take breaks. You need to be able to step away from the kids. And I know what a big thing that is for my wife, that I'm not going to be able to be here to provide those breaks, like those sanity breaks that we all need. Everyone out there who has young kids knows exactly what I'm talking about. Limited gear to work with. Here's a list of the brands that are sponsoring it and providing gear. Sweetwater is going to be sending a bunch of odds and ends that we're going to need to make this happen. Harley Benton is sending all the guitars. It's going to be Harley Benton Island. I'm totally fine with that. I love Harley Bentons. It's going to be interesting though, because so many of the events, all the events that I've been to over the years, whether it be TGU at Towman, or going to Henning's house for 42 Gear Street, or Guitar House here, or even things like NAMM and stuff like that, going to Sweetwater for their events, there's an incredible amount of gear to work with. We're only going to have one brand of guitars to work with. That's pretty unique. It's a pretty unique situation. Walrus Audio is sending a pedal board of stuff for us to mess around with. Engel is sending an amp or two, I think 1 amp. They're sending 1 amp. There's also the electricity situation on the island is limited. So we'll see how that works out. Yamaha is sending some acoustic little guitar Leleys for us to have acoustic jams with and sit around and jam and have fun playing music with each other while we're laying in hammocks and stuff like that. Sennheiser is sending wireless microphone rigs for us, and Mono is sending gig bags for us to do paddle races with. I think that's the plan. We're going to try to float on them and treat them like canoes or paddle boards or something like that. It's a very Henning idea, isn't it? So next on the list, we're all going to be alone with each other. There's going to be no escape. This island is tiny. It's a little island. It's just going to be us together with each other without the ability to escape. There should be a reality TV crew there to film this, because there probably will be drama. People will get short with each other. People will be like, I don't like that they said that, and they'll hold a grudge for 2 or 3 days. That's human stuff. That's personal relationship stuff. And then we're all just going to have a big fight in a tropical location and then hug it out and love each other even more. People get tired. People get lonely. People get alone with their thoughts. And they're in a new situation with people that they don't spend a lot of time with. And it's, this is very normal human stuff. It's like summer camp stuff. You know how people have dramas at summer camp and they cry on the bus on the way home and stuff like that. I'm expecting breakdowns. If there's not, I'm going to be disappointed, honestly. Next point is we're going to be alone with our thoughts. Like I said, I've got young kids. I'm self-employed. I'm constantly hustling around here. I'm a very busy person, and I keep myself very busy, and I don't often have silence in my life. The kids go to bed, and then I get about an hour or two to veg out at the end of the night, where I get to have whatever thoughts I have while I'm tired, and then I pass out and reset. The idea of having over 2 weeks of time where I'm essentially gonna have a lot of time to think. I'm gonna hear this voice a lot in my head is a bit ominous. I have a feeling a lot of us are going to be working out some stuff that might have been buried back in the back of our brains for a while. That kind of plays in with us being alone with each other as well. There's a bit of like a psychological element to this that it's going to be interesting to see. Watch, it's all going to be fine. We're all going to have a great time. We're all going to be just fully mentally healthy and emotionally healthy the entire trip. But I don't know. It's weird to think. I mean, I've had young kids for 8 years now. It's been that long since I've had significant amounts of time to have thoughts. You know what I mean? All the parents out there know exactly what I mean. Not safe? Big question mark. There's cobras there. There's cobras and there's sharks and there's all sorts of other critters and honestly other dangerous things that we'll probably be getting into. We're going to be snorkeling and swimming around a coral reef. We're going to be diving off a pier. We're going to be climbing up the rocky hillside. I'm positive we're going to be doing all sorts of risky things that could potentially lead to various injuries. We could get sick. We all got our shots. We're going to be taking malaria medicines and things like that. But we could get sick in a significant way. We're far away from a hospital. We're going to be in a very isolated location. Hours and hours and hours away from medical facilities. So there is risk there. I have a note here, sunburns, hypothermia, and heat stroke. A lot of people don't realize this, but you can get hypothermia in water that's warmer than your body. You can get hypothermia in water that's really any temperature other than your own body's temperature. And there's going to be a bunch of Europeans there, and I'm not sure they're ready for 24 hours, 2 weeks worth of beach life. I've spent a lot of time on the beach in my life. I'm a surfer. I've spent days and days, I've camped on beaches and stuff like that. Heat stroke is real. Dehydration is real. Hypothermia is real. There's a lot of ways you can mess up your body in a very vacation-y setting. Chafing can be lethal. I don't know if some of these people who are going are ready for the emergency levels of chafing you can get living in sand. We will only have what we bring. This is something that I've personally been really struggling with, like video production, content creation. There's a lot of gear in my life. In my home rig, I have it all locked in. I don't have to pack it up. I don't have to think about it. It's all locked in. When I travel, I bring a lot of stuff, a lot of backup stuff. And I'm fully aware, like, oh, if I go to NAMM, I can go to a Best Buy. I can order something on Amazon. It'll be there 2 days later. If I go to Henning's house, he's bound to have extra gear, or there will be a shop nearby that we could drive to and get the odd cable connector that we all forgot somehow. We're only going to have what we bring. And if something gets forgotten, we have to make do without it. That makes me nervous. Someone working with media equipment, that makes me nervous. Working with guitar equipment, that makes me nervous. We're just going to have to make do without. We might have to make things out of coconuts. New and unfamiliar foods. I'm actually pretty excited about this. I'm going to get into a lot of 60 cycle yums. I'm going to take a lot of pictures for Instagram. Maybe I'll make some videos. I'm sure I will. The menu is going to be out of our control. The island provides all the meals, and I've actually spent a lot of time around Filipino food. The place where I live is a place that has a very significant Filipino population. I grew up here, and I've been to a lot of potlucks. I've been to a lot of parties at Filipino families' houses and things like that. And I know that I'm totally down for Filipino party food. But I've looked around at what the other like regular dishes are. And there's a lot of like, oh, I've never had that. And that looks like that's going to be a very different texture for me or a very different flavor for me. And I think a lot of us are going to be experiencing that. This is not going to be European food. It's not going to be Americanized food. It's going to be Filipino food. And I'm half excited, half nervous. Good nervous. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. They're all going to make fun of us. I'm going to say this right now. This is for Reddit and for all the other trolly places on the internet. If Guitar Circle Jerk doesn't put their full back into making fun of this trip, I know there's no content yet. But when we get back and we start publishing content from this thing and you guys aren't making fun of this, what are you even doing? You don't deserve to exist, Guitar Circle Jerk, if you're not making fun of the content that comes out of this. This whole thing is ridiculous. Guitar Influencer Island. It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't exist. It makes no sense. It's fully mockable and you should mock it. Everyone should point their finger at this and like, why does this exist? And that's part of the reason why I love it, because it makes no sense. Yeah, this is a thing where like, what's next? Guitar YouTubers in orbit? Like, why do we go anywhere? Why do we go anywhere? Literally the only reason why we do these things is so we can hang out with each other. It makes sense for the sponsors. It makes sense for creating content and stuff like that. But we don't need to do this. And there's plenty of channels that don't want to be involved, that don't want to do this thing because it's an incredible amount of work and the payoff is socialization, which apparently a lot of us are starving for. We're very lonely. We sit at home all day staring into the black, lifeless lens of a camera so that we can look at ourselves and be embarrassed by the way that we speak and the mistakes that we make. And to follow up, this is a lot of work. And, especially for Henning and Perfecto, who have been behind the scenes on the vast majority of this, making all the details happen. Like in my life, it's been a lot of work. I'm sure for every channel attending, it's been a lot of work. I'm not going to have any content publishing while I'm gone other than the podcast. Steve and I crammed. We recorded more than we usually do, and I edited more than I usually do in a short amount of time to make sure there's still podcast episodes while I'm gone for like 3 weeks. But 3 weeks without regular content from a YouTube channel is kind of a lot. And all that work cramming before to get the family ready, to get the podcast ready, to get the house ready and the vehicles ready and all sorts of things ready so that my family is okay and everything else is okay while I was gone is a lot of work. And then when I get back, there's going to be a lot of catching up to do. It's a lot of work. And then it's going to be a lot of work recovering the channel, because the way these things work is you have to keep content going to keep the algorithms happy with your channel. Am I going to have to really hustle when I get back to get numbers back, to get my place back in the algorithm again? I don't know. I've never left the channel for this long. In what has it been like 7 years, 8 years of doing this channel? I haven't disappeared for 3 weeks before. With that in mind, this could be like a huge mistake. And then other people who are going on the trip, their trip's actually going to be a lot longer. They're going to go to Manila with Perfecto for this great big thing that they're going to do. They're going to go to a guitar shop and do like a meet and greet. And then they're going to go to Japan for another week and stuff. So some people going on this trip are going to be gone for a month, which is absolutely wild to me. So yeah, anyways, I've said a lot. It's been very kind of just off the cuff, rambling nonsense for a lot of this. But these are thoughts that I've been having. I think they're good thoughts to have. I think it's good to kind of think through the realities of these things and get them all over with, and then just go there and enjoy myself and have a good time and film some guitars and come back and show you guys all the cool footage. And some of you will love it and some of you will hate it and whatever. So anyways, once again, huge thanks to every single person that has been involved with making this happen. All the sponsors that are involved, everyone going, Henning and Perfecto, who have just been busting their butts to make this ridiculous thing happen. Thank you to the Guitar House crew for, understanding why I'm not hosting Guitar House again, because I'm doing this instead. I mean, Perfecto is going to be there. But there are talks that Guitar House might happen in another way eventually later. It might skip a year. We might do it later in the year. I don't know. But we'll figure stuff out. But that's besides the point, because I got a lot of packing to do and I need to go do it right now. I have limited time to spend with my family before I don't see them for 2 weeks, and I'm sitting here filming a video. So anyways, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, dislike, leave me rude and nasty comments. Don't leave any comments telling me what content to make while I'm there, because I won't have internet and I won't be able to read them. And you know what? Bye, everyone. I hope I come back. I hope I survive this. I hope a cobra doesn't kill me and then a shark eats me and then the shark dies because I was full of cobra poison. And stay grounded.